So I will be starting off working on this small light table here. Now you can very easily do this very same exercise up against a window with some light behind it. And the second part of it I'll be doing over here on my drawing board itself. So let me bring you over here and we'll get this thing set up in such a way that you can see what I'm doing. So, what I started off with was, of course, this picture that you're all familiar with now, the one that we used for the point project. I made a color copy. You don't need to make a color copy. You can make a black and white copy. And what I'm going to do to make this much easier for myself is I'm going to turn this over and trace my image from the back side of it so that I really don't even have to use a piece of tracing paper. That will give me the outline of my face. So I'm going to pause this for a minute and then I will proceed. Alright, I'm going to use a fine line marker and do the trace outline of my face so that you can see what I'm doing, and I'll be quiet so that I can speed this process up and we can see what it looks like when I'm all done. I'll talk here for a minute. Remember, all we're doing is just the most basic of outlines. It's not necessary to do this as though you were doing an illustration where you would put in all the detail that you need. What we're doing this for right now is basically to just do a simple sketch of our face so that we can superimpose the image of an animal. In my case it'll be a wolf over my face. And it'll just kind of give us the most basic of ideas about what we're going to need this for. Again, I'm only getting just the basic outlines of the things that I can very quickly see. You know, my eyebrows, the obvious little wrinkles and things around my eyes. And this is a true representation of my face because it's a traced version of it. So now I'm going to be quiet and we'll go through the rest of this real quickly here. So there, I paused it for a little bit so that I could catch up, plus I got a phone call that I had to take. But you can kind of get the idea, and I've only done half the image because the other half of the image, of course, is going to be that of the wolf, so there's really no reason for me to do the entire face. This probably took me maybe, about 20 minutes or so. So it's not a very long process. I'll turn the light table off here if I can find the switch really quick. I always have a hard time with this thing. I should probably mount the switch someplace where it's easier to get at. But, so there you have it. So you can just basically see that's really all that you need to do is just to get half of your face. I probably will darken in this over here with a marker, with a thick line marker, to just kind of complete the look of what I'm going to do before I do the other part. So here I am just finishing up my depiction of the wolf part sketch that I'm going to superimpose over my image on my image will be on the right hand side and the wolf will be on the left in the composition. I'll show you how we'll do that over here on the drawing board. So if you remember me saying that Cut and paste and knives and spray mount and glue are your friends. Well, this is one of those cases where that will be true, because what I'm going to be doing is taking this image of the wolf here and trimming out parts of it and superimposing it over my own image, and then what we'll see in the end is what that looks like together, and then I'll scan that and we will look at that, and that will become my rough for this particular thing. That's, pretty much what I was asking you to do. What you're going to want to do, though, is you're going to want to try to line up the eyes in the wolf depiction here with the eyes in the original composition. That's pretty much the important part. So I'm going to pause this and then I'll show you what that looks like. So then I more or less trimmed out a little bit more of the wolf composition than I had the ear showing here originally, and a little bit more of the nose, but I made sure to line the eyes up. I think this one's about where I want it to be. I probably am going to need to go back in and do some minor modifications, like blending this out a little bit so that it works a little bit better with this sketch over here. I might want to go back in and add some light over there and do the same down here so that they begin to look like they blend more. And then I will tape or glue these two together and then do a scan of them as a final composition. And this will give me or give everyone an idea of what you intend to do in the final version of this, where you're blending your photograph with that of an animal. And that will be what we'll look at in the second part. So hopefully this gives you some idea of just basically what I want you to do by way of a sketch for this assignment. So in the end, the composition itself was just a cut and paste of the wolf image on top of the image of my own. I had to do a little playing around back and forth. I thought maybe I might want more of the ear from the wolf. If you remember, I had a little bit more of an ear on the right-hand side. I ended up trimming it away. Ended up blending a little bit more of my face in the top down around the edge of the image. And just basically came up with this in the end. And we're going to do, I did a scan of this. This is what you would submit as your rough. Your version of this in Photoshop in the end may look like this. It may not look like this at all, but at least it gives everyone, including myself, an idea of what you decide that you're going to do in the end. This is kind of more or less a go-by or a suggestion, a rough version. This might be the kind of thing that you would be presenting to a client if you were doing some kind of a book illustration or something depicting something like this. Anyway, I hope that this helps, and I will see you guys in the next video.